All right, welcome everyone. Let me get this up here. Did I do that right? No, I did not. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, welcome everyone to tonight's team training. We are Team Legacy and we are doing big things. Sorry for that car out there. But tonight I'm just gonna go over a few things. I have some announcements. I wanted to touch base a little bit on retail to recruit. I also wanted to, let's see, go over the breakdown of volume just so you guys can understand what that is. And then I am going to pass the floor so this way you guys can understand a little bit more with retail. So first off with the announcements, we do, just so you guys can have an overall schedule, knowing what's going on as things are going. So every Monday we do have our call with Mr. Kenny Lloyd, our opportunity where you guys can invite any and everybody. If you guys are looking to really grow your team and have that residual income, you definitely want to invite to those calls because it's different hearing the information from someone that knows what they're doing, but also another voice. Because sometimes they can hear us say it and it just doesn't click. So hearing it from other people is very, very, very important. So Mondays is our opportunity call with him. And then Tuesdays, as of now, I don't have anything on the schedule, but if I am missing anything, one of the leaders will remind me and let me know. Wednesday, we have our training with Kenny Lloyd. So you want to make sure you're on there, you're taking your notes. And honestly, every time you're on, you should be learning something new or just applying something new to your business. And always, any questions, always ask. Thursdays is closeout. Closeout specifically means it's the last day for you to put money into your paycheck. So Thursdays, in general, we don't go to sleep until closeout is complete. Closeout is my time is 1 o'clock a.m. but Central Time, I think it's Central Time, it's 12 p.m. Okay, guys. So that is really important because sometimes some of our teammates are pushing for promotion. We might put in the chat, hey, can anybody support? You know, whether it's $2, $3, $10, getting yourself one product, whatever the case may be. Closeout is a team activity. And also you want to make sure you're talking to the person that enrolled you in the business because sometimes they don't know where your goal is or what's going on. So just keep touch base with that. So this way, when closeout happens, you're not doing things by yourself because that's what we're here for as a team. Friday, feel free to do your follow-ups with your people, but as a team, we don't have anything scheduled on that specific day. Saturdays at 9 a.m. is 1000 Families training. It's good to go on there, hearing other avenues on how to run the business, hearing from Coach Stormy, her team, and other leaders every now and then. Of course, Kenny Lloyd is on there. And they are doing like different giveaways and team incentives. We are, of course, a part of 1000 Families, but we are building our own team as well. So we have to make sure we're all good, doing our own trainings and stuff. And then Sundays, every Sunday, we're going to be here at 9 p.m. And then eventually, depending on how things go, if we are able to push it to every 2 weeks or if we need to keep it at every week, that's just something that we as a collective can discuss together on what everyone just in general needs. Because these trainings are not the specific like an outline for people. This is just for our specific team. So if you struggle with retail, we need to know. So this way we can break down the areas that you struggle with. I remember one time I struggled with recruiting, so I needed more training with that. But you know, sometimes it's general, so you have to go find the answers. So we want to make sure we're hands-on with you guys. And then the first thing I want to speak on is your SmartShip. You guys do not have a actual active business without your SmartShips being set up. That is you having your 120 volume. That is just 3 products that you're using every single month. In order to really be real successful in this business, you have to use 3 products. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say you have to use exactly what everyone is using. Myself, I do stick to the NutriBurst, the NRG, and the tea. That's my base. Everything else to me is extra. But if you're a coffee drinker and you want that to be one of your products, that's totally fine. If every other month you wanted to change it, that is fine as well. But if you are trying to make residual income, you cannot make it without the 120 Smart Ship. You have to mandatory have to be on that Smart Ship using those products. Number one, how are you going to get your customers to get involved, get started if you're not a part of the regimen? If you're telling them that, you know, you're going to need these 3 products, you can lose your 50 pounds, 100 pounds, stick with it. But in the background, you're not sticking with it. A lot of times what happens is without communication, your customers understand and they can see that you're inconsistent just like them. So they gravitate to what they assume or what they see. Because I had that struggle before where I was using my products on and off, and then I'm like, why are my customers not ordering like that? I finally had a heart-to-heart with someone, and they were like, well, you know, I didn't see you posting it all the time, so I didn't think I needed to take it all the time. So we had to regroup and reset. So definitely use your product. I'm actually going to share my screen to just show you guys the, let's see here, to show you guys the breakdown of the volume with the products. Dashboard. All right, so I'm already in the back office. Now this, I just want to show you guys an example. This person right here, under where it says active, the volume is 40. So this person is not going to be basically a residual person. This is quote unquote a retailer. They're just active and they're going to be able to order their product. And if they need to, they can send their website. So 40 volume is not going to be receiving residual income. Just so you guys have the idea on the difference. This is just your account is active and you can share your website. These lights just go on and off. All right, so I'm just going to the store so you guys can see where the volume shows. All right, so I'm going to go to a product. Let me go to weight management. I'm going to go to products that we all get all the time. All right, so the Delgado coffee, one of the bags, once you click on the items, it shows you right here what the volume is. Number one, it tells you what it does. So if you guys ever feel like you don't know what the products are, they are, when you click on it, it does pull up everything, has the price, and then you want to focus on BV. BV is what falls into your business. Personal QV would be if you were ordering just directly in your back office. So this product here is 40 volume. So if you had 3 of these a month, you would have 120 volume. So when we say 3 products, that's the reason, because every product that is a 40 volume, it's a month supply. I'm going to show you guys one more example with the tea, because a lot of times people confuse getting 1 bag. Number one, if you're a product of the product, you know 1 bag, you're not going to have enough for the month. You're going to have enough for 12 days and then 1 day, just half the day. So with this one here, if you get 1 bag, you only have 20 volume and you will not be active in your business if that's the only volume that you ordered for the month. So we always suggest in general, just because we're a business, get the 2 bags. You have a bag for yourself you can use, the other bag if you wanted to sample, or both the bags are for yourself for the month. Please get your cup, boy. And then last but not least is the recruiting. Let me stop sharing my screen. Recruiting, honestly, it is just a few things. The first thing is inviting to the calls. Now, we do have options. Sometimes some of us will go live on our Facebook page, and we'll always make sure we say, you know, if we're doing like an opportunity call, we'll always make sure we say, you know, if somebody shared this information to you, please get back to them. You can always share to our personal opportunity calls, Kenny's call, which is Monday. 1000 Family does have theirs every day at 8 p.m. But understand, they are telling everyone that there are only expensive packs, the Elite Pack, the Premier Pack, anywhere from 300 to 1,600 products. So just make sure if you are sending people to the 1000 Family opportunity calls that I believe is every day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, make sure you call and talk to your people and just see where their head is. If anyone mentions, oh, well, I don't have that much money, please let them know they can get in with our Freedom Kit. And if they wanted flavors as well, they can do the the 2 15-day kits, which is the same as the Freedom Kit. It's just a $10 difference for flavor. So just be clear, if you send them there, they do not have to start with the elite packs. The next is 3-way calls. I myself can do 3-way calls. Jason knows that. Jason, when we first got in this company, the reason why I know the compensation so well, Jason had me on call after call after call after call after call. So I was able to learn everything just by speaking to other people. What's the matter? Okay, it's okay. And then the next is attraction, and then the last is telling people about your business. So when you're telling people about your business, you definitely want to either message them. What's the matter? Give it to me. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Go ahead, bring it to me. When you're telling people about your business, you literally want to be giving them the information here. Oh boy, sorry y'all. You want to give them the information, whether you're on social media, you just want to reach out. Hey, I have this amazing tea. Hey, I have this opportunity. I've seen you were looking for information. If you are out and about, it's just regular conversation. I'm not really an out and about person, so I know our girl Shanna Banana will be able to give you a little bit more detail on how to have natural conversations. And then attraction marketing is very key when you're building a business on social media. You want the world to know who you are, and you don't want to always hide behind the scenes. So it can be pictures of yourself with good captions saying what life was, what it is, and where you're going. You can speak on your schedule with your children. I can speak on how I'm did training and my son over here is going crazy. You want people to know a little bit about you so they can start trusting who you are and ordering from you as either a customer or getting started with the business, because people honestly, they get with you because they like you, they can trust you, and they see you're doing the actual stuff. So if I sit here and say I'm making $100 a day, those people want to see the proof. So you can't always use everybody else's testimony. This is why it's key to be a product of the product. I'll sit down. Okay, bring it to me. Let's see. Show who you are. Tell what people want. And I'm going to open up for any questions before I do pass it on for our retail portion. So if anybody does have any questions, or maybe questions that someone that's not on here might have, you guys can go ahead and unmute yourself if there are any questions. All right.
No questions so far.
All righty, so I'm going to pass the floor to our girl, Shanna, and she's going to go over retail, giving the breakdown on how we make this money, how she did the other day, y'all.
Hey y'all, how you doing?
Hey, good night.
I know, good night. Hi. All right, so first and foremost, what I want to do, we had a pretty, I threw a lot of information at you. The very first training call that we had, hopefully people wrote it down and kind of jotted down some notes to kind of get an understanding of how to kind of start when it comes to retailing outside. Did anybody try any of the methods and found out that it worked for them? Y'all can unmute yourselves and tell me about your experience or any interaction that you had that led to you getting a sale.
Well, Saturday, I had an awesome day outside.
Okay.
And I took my NRG before I went outside. I had my ginger burst because I had to be in the mood. And when I went outside, it was just simple conversation I was having. Like, I was like, hey, I like that outfit you got on. And the conversation led from there to me letting them know what I have. And then in the store that I went with the cleanse, people were in there. And not because I actually have it on on the shelf, I actually went around to the people in the store. I said, hey, have you ever cleansed before? Have you ever had a cleanse before? And they was like, come to think about it, no. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And I start to give the information and they're like, oh, how can I get it? I said, it's here. I got it for two prices, 10 and 15. And he said, okay, no problem. I'm going to even tell my wife. So it was just a conversation of just starting, just say, hey, how you doing? Find something on them that you can start something if you're scared. Oh, I like your hat. Even if you don't like the hat. You're like, I would say that. So that's what I did Saturday. I compliment, and then from the compliment, it turned into a conversation.
Awesome. So that's one of the good ones. I call it an icebreaker. Just kind of introducing yourself because a lot of times, a lot of people don't like to feel um, salesy. So it's always important to build relationships with people, especially with strangers. It's easier when you say, "Oh my God, it's such a beautiful day. What do you think?" And then people's like, "Oh yeah, it is a beautiful day," and that's a good way to generate an organic conversation without going like straight into the sale. If you think about a car salesperson, if you ever go to a car lot, the first thing they do is say, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, how you doing this wonderful Sunday?" And oh, I see your son. He's so handsome. Look like he just came from church. Notice how they go directly into it's all about you. It's always very personable. And then next thing you know, you on a test drive. You don't even know how you got there 30 minutes later. But you sitting in a brand new car, and if you ain't too careful, you'll ride out in the sunset with a new car note.
Yep.
And you'll be waiting on some car
That's what that
insurance.
Kieran conversation you just had. You're serious. You're right.
I'm dead serious. And you'll go home with a new car, and you'll be like, I don't even know how I got in
How I
this
got
car.
it.
And then they're so bold with it, they'll call you within 24 to 72 hours. Oh, I see you got that wonderful 2025 BMW 725. How's that ride out for you? You know what? The next time you want to get your car service, come on down here and I'll get a car wash for you, a free oil change, and I even got you a hat so you can wear strolling in your new car. So they always find a way to initiate following up after the purchase to just make sure that you're happy and satisfied with the level of service you did. And guess what the next thing they're gonna say? If you got any referrals or you know anybody else looking for a car, just give me a holler because we do referral fees. I give you $200 for every person you send my way, and we sell them a car. So personable, sold you a car, don't know how, followed up with you, dropped a little incentive. I would call it a sample, but I will say it's planting the seed. Oh man, he had wonderful customer service. Wasn't even looking for a car girl. If you need a car girl, go see John. He go his and tell him that I sent you. You ain't gonna tell me about that referral that John told you about, but you gonna make sure you talk up John to the point where, man, John sounded like he was a bomb. He got my friend a brand new BMW, and she liked everything about it. Let me go see John. As soon as John sell her a car, John gonna give you $200. Girl, you can get as many as you want. So it's all in the power of a follow up. That's one of the biggest things that the call is about today. Um, who else had any good experiences the past week when they was out retailing or selling? It don't have to be outside. It can be on a computer as well. I saw Miss Shalinda with her pictures. Girl, you was doing the thing with that waist trainer, girl. I saw you. Hey, I would have bought some tea from you. She had a still picture. She must be away from the computer. So the next thing I want to talk about that's very important. We live in an age where One, like Latifah said, you have to have your auto ship on. It's extremely important to have your auto ship on. Anybody that has anybody in their downline, you need to touch base with them and make sure they have their 120. Because Kenny said something that was really funny. He said, you're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself. And with a teamwork environment, we rely on each other. And pretty much most everybody on the call is starting to advance, starting to see volume. We're definitely working and we're moving. And so when everybody starts moving at a certain pace, then everybody will start to get volume depending on what leg or what lineage you're on. Wouldn't you hate? I'm not going to say the name, I'm just giving an example. So I'm outside and I'm working, I'm busting my behind. And you're seeing the volume because we help each other. Okay. How would you feel on closeout Thursday? You like, oh man, yes, I know I got it. And then Friday wake up and all your volume is gone. And the only thing you can ask yourself is, did I make the necessary calls to make sure my team was in place for SmartShip? And did I do my due diligence on my business to ensure if they did not, that my business will not fall? Because if you have somebody that's not binary, you're leaving your business in someone else's hands. And if you're willing to do that, then you need to, there's nothing wrong with over communicating. Because the one last thing you want to do is under communicate and then you have to start all over again. And that's not a good place to be, especially when you got a team working with you, by you, alongside you, trying to make sure you get the growth. And then you neglect your business and then you're upset. Oh, I can't get no rank. I gotta start all over again. I was a director and now I'm just an associate again. That's a hard pill to swallow. And somebody had to swallow that pill this Thursday, and I had to make that phone call. I was communicative, but I could have done a little bit better as a leader. So I would definitely reflected on that. But that was a tough conversation that I had to have with that person. And I had to let them know, not only did you not order like you should have, when Thursday comes, you're going to lose all your volume and you're going to have to start all over again. And the person was not happy. They said, well, I had this go on and I had that go on in life. And that leads me to the next thing, because I've heard life be lifing for the last couple weeks from various people. One thing led to another, and the day got past me. I can't do this and I can't do that. When you own a business and you're running your business, yes, you can be picky and choosy, but you can't be picky and choosy when you get your check, because your check reflects your effort. So as leaders, we need to also make sure we ask certain questions. When you are recruiting, you need to ask those open-ended questions so you know who exactly you're putting in your downline. You should be able to identify if you have a builder or you have a retailer. Because a lot of times we recruiting and oh, this person's a retail, this person's a retail, and that's not their personality. So we're pushing them in a direction that they're already going to go against the grain. And the last thing you want is to push somebody out of the business, because that's not truly who they are. And then with your builders, we also have to let them know, hey, a builder's a great direction to go in. Like me, myself, I would say I'm a builder, but I understand that in the beginning that I have to be a retailer, because I have to show the people I bring in what it takes to build a solid foundation. I need to be able to show them what it looks like to retail if I have retailers. So that way my legs balance. As I'm putting people in, I can balance my left and my right. So I can say, okay, I got some runners on the right, but I have some builders. So you need to be able to mix your chart. Well, one feeds off the other. It balances out. And I thank Tifa and Trentel for that, because I make sure I keep my holding tank on and I really look at my chart to see how many runners I have, how many builders I have, to try to make sure I don't make a leg so strong and then I have extremely weak leg. So the mixture is very important. And if you don't know how to do that, Do not hesitate to call Tifa. Do not hesitate to call Trintel. And once again, do not hesitate to call Kenny. Kenny been in this industry for almost 30 years. He knows more than pretty much anybody in the company, in the industry. So if you're looking for the right answers as to how to build your foundation, how to build your chart, pick up that phone and make that phone call. At this point, all of us should have one of these, the Power of Two. And I got several of these because now I'm requiring my people to have one of their own. Because guess what? Every week, Kenny said, "Where's your chart? I want to see your chart." So it's a reason why he's asking me for charts. He's trying to see where my placement is. He's trying to see where my runners are, my builders are. He's trying to see how I'm building out my organization so that it makes sense. So I would encourage all of y'all, if you have people in your downline, you need to make sure all of them have this chart, the Power of Two, and then hold them accountable. Hey, I need you to send me a copy of your chart. And just like he held me accountable, don't have them let you send you a chart with just names on it. Make them put the number on there. I had an instance where someone needed their email address updated, and I had to call customer service. And guess what? If I didn't have this number, I would have been running around struggling, looking for my laptop that wasn't currently available. I was in the process of selling some tea, but because I had that number, I was able to move quickly and efficiently and actually get the job done. So I have a better understanding of why he always says, when you have your chart, have all the information. What package did they come in at? Did they come in at the Freedom Kit? Did they come in with one product? He even went so far as to say, no one should really be coming in with one product. And at first I was like, well, what happened if the person financially struggling and just being his devil's advocate? And he said, if you can only come in with one product, how do we know they're going to be able to continue to invest in their business? You got to spend money to make money. So we also have to make sure we understand, and this was a learning lesson for me, all like recruiting all the people that I did. It's a learning lesson because going forward, I'm able to actually educate. Like when you start a Chick-fil-A, the investment is $10,000. That $10,000 requires everything you need to set up your Chick-fil-A store, but you have to continue to buy inventory, continue to buy product to one, train your people, and to two, sell to your customers. It doesn't stop with just 3 bags of tea. So we have to make sure they understand just because you buy 3 bags of tea, if you're actually running your business, sampling your business, turning your profit. So if you get 3 bags, 1 bag is $40. Let's just say you decide to sample it and not do bottles. That's $150. $40 should be subtracted. I'm gonna say 50 for shipping. $50 should be removed for that bag of inventory for you to replace. Then you have $100. Okay. We don't know what somebody's financial situation is. So then we can say, okay, I'm going to split it in half. I'm going to take another $50 and I'm going to put towards the inventory that I replaced and to buy more inventory. And I'm going to keep the $50 for profit. So you don't feel like you're not reaping the rewards of your business, but you also understand you have to reinvest in your business. So I think it's really important that we let people know, yeah, you make this money, but that doesn't mean you don't need to reinvest in your business, especially if they're outside retailing. I bought an Elite pack. I went out of town. I made $3,000 in 24 hours. If I did not have an Elite pack, and I'm not recommending people to do that, especially if you're not a person that likes to go outside. But if you have an event, like a large event that you're trying to do, I know some people are better at events. They're not really a type of person that likes to just go from person to person. But if you have a really big event, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, research the event. How many people went last year? What's the typical head count? Um, what has it been about? Is it about health and wellness? You need to ask those questions so you're prepared when you go to the event so you can kind of gauge and scale how much inventory you need to bring. For example, we have an event come up next week, and the questions that I asked my teammate. Okay, it's a gym. The first event they want to do was Thursday. I said, how many people come in typically on a Thursday? It said 25 to 35. Okay, well, this is one of the busiest gyms in Atlanta. So they were told no matter what day they choose, it's $150. Well, we know that entry fee is a little bit high with a count of 25 to 35. What's the chances of this person being able to turn their profit? It's going to be low. You don't have enough interactions. Now they have a workout class on Saturday and they have typically minimum 100 people. So I'm going to say, hey, you can do the event on Saturday because you have enough interactions to turn your profit and then some and run through your inventory. However, do you have the product to meet the demand? Because we all know they can go online and they can buy the product, but you don't get as much commission. How much commission do you get, Tifa? It's like $20 for every 40?
Yeah, $20 every 40 volume.
So $20 for every 40 volume. Versus if you sell a bag with pre-made bottles and you break it down on that event, have the people sample it, have the try, you're gonna make over $300 just off one bag. So it's all in how you position yourself for the event. And just if anyone is deciding to do events, just to kind of give themselves a way to ease into retailing, because I do find that when you start doing events, people are more intentional because they know they're looking to shop, they're looking to buy. You can also go to malls. Now, malls have little kiosks that you can do throughout the week. I don't recommend anybody trying to do a stand at the mall like on an everyday basis. I've had one in the past, and it was just cotton candy, and I was paying $4,500 a month. Whether you sell a cotton candy or not, they still want their check for $4,500 a month. That didn't even include Christmas. Christmas, it went up to $6,500 a month. October, November, December, January, and February. So I paid $6,500 for being in the mall. And you have to be there mandatory Sunday through Saturday. If you open late, you get penalized. If you close early, you get penalized. Because guess what? They're treating your business like it is a business and they remove the emotion. They don't care anything about that. So what you can do, you can talk to the mall and you can ask them, hey, is it possible I can get a kiosk or I can get a stand for a weekend? And they may charge you maybe like $150, or they may charge you $300 for maybe 2 or 3 days. But that gives you an opportunity to see several people, so you have several opportunities. Even if people don't buy from you, you have the opportunity to sample, you have the potential to recruit, and you have the potential to build a network by collecting names, numbers, and email addresses. So some people, like I tell people, sometimes you're gonna go to these events and you might not make money, but it's all about the network, positioning, and the timing. So keep in mind when you're dealing with sales, everybody's not gonna buy from you the same day, but you need to be able to provide excellent customer service because one, we already know the product sells. We know it works. You have to sell yourself first in order for me to want to buy from you. So if I say to Latifah, you know what, it really tastes good. I like the fruit punch. The last time, and this is another thing, when I heard about TLC, y'all had just a regular tea and I didn't like it, but I'm glad you let me try it because I didn't know y'all came out with new flavors. This definitely changes how I feel about taking the product. But right about now, I'm not really interested. But I'll come back to you. And, yeah, you can, if you can follow with me within a month, we can talk about me doing a detox. So Latifah asked me, hey, well, can I follow with you about a month? Or can I follow up in 2 weeks? Can we revisit it? I know you're not prepared to do it now, but I just want to follow with you and see what your experience was and just to see, maybe a later time. Sure, Tifa, I don't have a problem with that. I'm not in the mindset to do it right now. So you still gave excellent customer service. you still provided an experience because one, I let you sample the product. So I know if you made it right, I'm gonna say that if you made it right, because I didn't have some detox teas and they were not made right. And I've heard a lot of feedback from customers that have I'm doing vendor events for this gym, and I've had several clients say, this doesn't taste like the ones that I've had. So you need to make sure you stick to the recipe because people can tell the difference. I mean, I have more questions about if mine was right because the first experience they had, it was like, you sure yours right? It don't taste like the one I had. The one I had, I didn't even go to the bathroom. So it's like I'm fighting when I'm like, no. So I have a recipe, panther that I have now that I created. But I have to kind of justify that. So make sure that is correct. When you get your first sample in the customer hand, they need to have an experience. Okay. So let's not be cheap. Let's not fill up with water and throw a pouch in there just for them to get the taste. Because guess what? If it tastes good, but I don't have the experience that you told me all the features and benefits about, I'm gonna go tell my friends, girl, it tastes like Kool-Aid. Ain't nothing happened. I sit up all night watching TV. I ain't buying that. It's a scam. It's not a scam. We're not following the system. It's a reason why there's a system in place. The system is in place because it works. So we gotta keep that in mind. Also, does everybody have business cards, or when a customer comes up to you, how do you collect their information? Y'all can unmute yourselves. I just want to see how we doing that.
We don't collect their information, sis. Guilty.
Okay. Shanar.
Honest.
Shanar. Shanar. Nara. Shan. Where everybody went?
I'm
Jason, don't you
here.
be back there
I'm here,
laughing.
baby. I'm here.
Okay,
I'm here.
so when you talk to customers, how do you end it? How do you follow up?
I actually take the numbers,
Me too.
and if I actually talked to this lady that I said that I wanted to get the candy cleanse, and she called me, and we just made arrangement for her to actually get the candy cleanse. The ones that this young lady, she bought one from me Saturday, and I have to call her tomorrow to follow up with her and see how did she have the experience and if she want to go try more or the bigger bottle. Yeah.
Okay. Miss Rashonda, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you, like, when someone says, okay, not right now, how do you follow up with them?
You said when they say not right now?
Yeah, when they say not now, or let me think about it, I'm in a rush. What do you use to try to
Well, none
follow
of my
up with
people usually do that. It's either they're gonna get it or they're gonna say no.
them?
Like I never had any that says let me think about it before buying it. It's
Okay.
either yes or no with my people. You
Okay.
get what I'm saying? And I told Latifah before, like my people is like older, so they not like really beating around the bush. They gonna say yes or no, and that's it. Even though like I'll send another message in a couple of weeks like, hey girl, I know you said no before, but I got a special going on, and if this is something that you want to try, this might be like the perfect time. And if they say, okay, yes, I want to try it, then I say, well, I need you to send me a text message, and I put my phone number, because 9 times out of 10 they don't want to put their phone number in to the messenger. So I'll
Mhm.
put my phone number in, and then they'll text me and be like, this is yada 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 from Facebook. And then that's how we communicate. So once they get it, I tell them text me their address. I give them my Cash App, and then I just check with them as they get it and things like that. Like, did you try it? How did you like it? Did you poop? Like that was that's really the question. And they be like, girl, bye, yeah, I pooped. Like, and then that's how I pretty much win them over. Like, okay, well, just let me know. And I usually call back, like say if they ordered like 3 bottles or whatever. The third or the before the third day, I'll be like, I know you're about to run out. I'm not exactly sure if you want to try again. But I'm always here. Like I never make it like feel pressured to get it again. Like you get what I'm saying? And they'll let me know if they want it again or anything like that. And I also let them know that like I have vitamins, I have the NRG, things like that. And that's it.
Okay. So I like that because for the older crowd, they are very straightforward. It's either yes or it's no. I had a lady and she said, I don't need no detox. I need energy because I'm tired. Like, and I did laugh because it was just like, she was like, I don't want none of that. I don't need the boo boo. I'm tired. And I said, oh, well, I have NRG. And oh, what does it do? Is it going to keep me up? Like, she just went straight to the point. And I was able to explain the NRG, and she ended up buying a month's supply of NRG, and she bought 2 samples for her sister. She was like, I don't know what my sister gonna do if she, excuse my language, if she got a shit, she can come back and get the detox tea. But I'm telling you what I need. And so that led me into talking about chaga and different things in reference to the customer I had in front of me. So that's another thing I keep stressing on. I can't stress it enough. We are not tied down to just Candy Cleanse. Even if we don't have the product, I have a waiting list now. Hey, I know you said you got high blood pressure. I know I love your weight loss journey, everything it stands for. Let me go ahead and get your information. And when it comes back in stock, I'll definitely reach out to you because I feel like this is something I think that can really help you build your immune system. And I have a chart of all the things that chaga does for the body. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, girl, give them my square. She purchased her NRG. I got her first name, last name, number. Girl, do you like text or do you like phone calls? Girl, you my friend now, and I love talking to you. I love to have a good conversation. But I understand the way the world works that we're always constantly busy. Which one works for you? Oh my God, girl, text messages will be just fine. Okay, I have no problem with doing it. So I let them tell me the preference of which one they do. So I've built my clientele base. I'm gonna put in their profile. Um, when I can look at the transactions and see what they bought, but I put in their profile exactly like key points. So if I looked at their customer profile, I can tell what I can gauge. So if I wanted when Chaga came in, if I want to do a campaign, I can go and say, okay, these 62 people right here that I had, all of them were interested in Chagas and I was out of stock. Let me make a campaign and let me send it out to them and let's see who wants to take advantage of the product. Because I don't talk about just the candy cleanse, I talk about all the products. I ask questions in a way that I can understand all of their needs. So I'm not limited to just a no on one product. Like you may have told me no on detox. Man, I haven't had a good multivitamin in a long time, girl. What'd that do? You know what? I don't want that bottle. Can I get them Rip and Sips? Yeah, we sell the Rip and Sips. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't want that, but I'll buy this. So, and I'm teaching them that at the gym. Never just pitch just one product. Just kind of give them an overview so they can make a confident decision based on their overall health. You're not narrowing yourself down. You're leaving the playing field open. Yes, ma'am, Rashonda. I saw your hand up. I'm sorry.
No, I had a question, right? The young lady that recently purchased the cleanse from me, right? I was
Mm-hmm.
watching her page just to see if like she's actually taking it, drinking it, discussing it, talking about it or anything like that. But she has spoken about it, but she just recently said that she was like feeling depressed or whatever. Do you think it's a good idea for me to just mail her some NRG? I'm thinking it
Oh,
is.
oh, of course. And I'm gonna tell you how you can spin it. So she bought from you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What is something about her that you remembered that stood out to you?
Well, we went to church together and things like that, but then she moved away.
Okay.
And right now it's just like coming from the Jersey area to moving like down south is like she's like stuck or feeling a
Mhm.
little stuck. You know what I mean? So she's getting, yeah, exactly. So she's getting a little depressed in regards to that. Um so yeah.
So then, because
And
you've already
she actually put up a post. I seen it today. And I was like, okay, you know what? I think it'd be a good idea for me to just mail her like 2 of the 3 packs so that she can get something in her to see a
this,
change.
then we're gonna do a spin on it. Do she drink coffee?
She don't drink the coffee. She drink the tea. And maybe I should give her some NRG. What you think?
So what I would
NRG and vitamins.
so what I would do, I would give her 1 pack of NutriBurst, and I would
Mm.
give her 1 pack of NRG. And
Oh,
then I
okay.
would say, hey, I'm just checking in on you. I noticed you made a big transition, and I saw your messages, and I'm rooting for you. And here's a little something I think that can kind of pep up your day and make you have a
Mm.
brighter day. And then say, here's the instructions. It lasts for 3 days. I want you to, try this, and then, you know, I look forward to hearing from you soon. I hope this brightens your day, and I hope it gives you all the energy that you're looking for to conquer the world, and then sign your name. Of course, put it in your words because
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah,
person
yeah.
talks the same. But what that does, that still congratulates the success of making a change. You give
Mm.
them words of encouragement, and then you're also saying, "I see you. I
Let me write
identify
this.
your issue, and I have a,
Mm.
a solution to your problem. If you're open to it, try it. And then if it works out for you, give me a call. But at the end of the day, I'm still rooting for you to be the very best version of yourself." So what that means, if I open that up, how would that make you feel? If we reverse it and I sent that to you, how would you feel?
Yeah, I would like it. And I got some thank you like cards and things like that. So I could start with like, first I want to thank you for purchasing from me,
Hmm.
yada yada yada, and then give some kind of words of encouragement. Let her know that I did see a post because we are friends. And just let her know that I care for her genuinely, and I know for a fact that I have something that will make her feel better in overall. Like, you know what I mean? So, all right, I got you. I done wrote it down. I got look my card in my damn hand. Ignore the way I look, but look.
Look at that. She like, oh, it is cute too, girl. Okay.
So I'm
Like a
gonna
Hallmark
it's
card there, a mahogany.
a, but it's blank in the inside, so I can write whatever it is that I want. Um and I'll mail that stuff out to her. Ignore the way I look.
Girl, you
Hey,
okay? I
and
got
do
this.
not send this to Kenny. Look.
We are professionals. I don't think he's worried about any of us right now. He's worried about a post. But so that was a perfect example of adding a touch from building relationships. The customers made the purchase. You're still being who you are, but you're still building that connection. You have a problem, I have a solution, and I'm here along your journey. When I'm my corporate job, I tell people I'm not here to do a one-time purchase. I'm here to be your jeweler for life.
Mhm.
So I'm letting you know I'm committed to your entire journey. I'm not just looking for you just on the holidays. You know, hey Latifah, I know your son just turned 3. I want to tell him happy birthday. Can you put him on the phone so me and him can have a conversation? Because I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna play with a little boy when he's in the building, and me and him are gonna have an awesome little connection. And for Latifah like, oh my God, girl, you got all the stuff to do today, and you remember my son's birthday, like you took the time out to call us to ask about his party. That made Tifa feel special. That made her son feel special. Every time he see a jewelry store, he gonna say, "Can we go see Miss Shannon?" And so, if I ever want to buy any jewelry, I'm gonna go find Shanna because Shanna looks at me like I'm not just a salesperson. I'm not just a number. I'm her friend, and I know if I need something, she's gonna make sure I get everything I need, and I can trust. I've built trust, and I'm gonna tell all my friends, girl, if you're looking for engagement and anything, here goes Shanna's number. Don't worry about it. I'll tell her you're on your way. Hands down. So for every person that have an experience with you, they tell 25 people. I promise you, that's the truth. Nothing about that number is a fudge, nothing about it is a lie. When you have a bad experience, now we're in a world of social media. You got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got text message, Google reviews, Yelp. That's all it takes. That is that is literally all that it takes. And then now you're fighting to justify your character. Now the customer's not always right. We know that. But in the eyes of the customer, they always feel that they're right. So even when the customer's wrong, we have to be mindful, feel, felt, found. This is another one y'all need to write down. Feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel. I was there at one point when I was extremely overweight. And I know how I felt when I would go in the dressing room and the things that I want to wear just did not compliment me. But what I found that I had to be dedicated in my journey. I had to find the right products and I had to find the right mentor and the right community to help me with the transformation because I couldn't do it for myself. So let's go ahead and do this transformation together. You don't have to do it alone. We have a 15-day Biggest Loser Challenge. We're going to provide you accountability calls every week. We're going to give you the opportunity to take our 3 products. And if you don't feel confident to do the virtual workouts, we have a walking club. You don't have to walk by yourself. You can walk with us and take a picture. And whoever has the best transformation, you get the opportunity to win cash prizes or Nike gear. How does that sound? Let's go ahead and get you started today. Who wouldn't buy that? Every person, I don't know, it costs too much. That's nothing. I don't know, this costs too much. That's not in my budget. I understand. We live in a world where the economy a little shaky, but I did just hear you say the personal trainer was $320 for 8 sessions. I did hear you say you had to get a gym membership. That's another $80. I did hear you say that they was going to charge you for a nutrition plan. That's $250. I did hear you say, so notice how I'm not saying, oh, what you don't need to do or what you shouldn't do, but based on the conversation she gave me and the cost, so my 150 compared to your almost $1,000, you're gonna get a certified trainer to talk to for accountability, 3 products gonna aid you in your weight loss, 2 recommended meal plans. You just told me the nutrition plan they're gonna charge is minimum $250. So just 3 things that she's told me as an objection, I've already defeated it. So that doesn't mean she's gonna say no, but you give people responses where you cut out the word no. It's either I want to do it or I don't want to do it. But you put it in the customer hand if they say yes or no. Because sometimes you pressure the customer. You want to do this. You want to do this. This is a good deal. This is a good deal. That's a turnoff. But if you build the value, then I have to decide, oh man, it's so much value in this. I get a certified trainer. Tifa gonna give me 2 meal plans. Tifa gonna walk with me because I'm embarrassed to go to the gym because I don't want people looking at me. That's another big thing. I don't want people looking at me, but I'm gonna be in a community with people that look just like me, have the same issues as me. So I can really feel comfortable and knowing that we all on the same journey. Sometimes it's not about the products, it's the way we present the products. It's the way we present the opportunity for change. And that'll close the sale within itself. Anybody got any questions about that?
Nope.
I
All
did
right.
want to add to that with the way you present yourself. One thing I did learn from past experience just with my personal self, I thought it was okay because I do social media. If you guys don't know, I only do social media and I'm learning just like everybody else to get outside because I want the bigger bag, right? What I used to do was roll over and click the camera and be online. The way I presented myself was the amount of sales I was making. So I was only making anywhere from a $35 to a $55 sale with all of my customers because that's the value and presentation that I gave to myself. Once I started getting myself together a little more, my hair not looking shabby like it's old, or a little bit lip gloss instead of just dry. 1 second, baby. Not having my pajamas on, actually looking presentable, because I was on here wilding. Then I was able to make anywhere from, I was making $100 a day minimum, but I was able to get those sales where people wanted, 10 bottles of Candy Cleanse. They wanted the actual kit of the Freedom Kit, or they wanted extra things, and it wasn't the lower value because of how I look. So a lot of times when you hear people say, I was one like, I don't got to do all that. That ain't me. I ain't got to put the makeup on. That's not me. But if you want a certain dollar amount from specific people, you have to look like you're able to pay for it too. So if I come on here and I look like I could, get a $25 sample or a sale, if that's how I present myself, you're going to get it. But if you want people to really get a whole Freedom Kit, a 30-day with you, you want them locked in for 90 days, you got to show that you could buy that too. And it's not saying that you can't, because look, my father is one. He walks around making himself look like he makes less purposely, but we're in sales. So everything, how you present yourself, what's on your feet, the stain on your shirt, we all know if we got that stain, we need to cover it up or we need to go change the shirt because we're in sales. Everything about us is about making the money or helping somebody else make the money. Overall, we're the image that is going to put for whatever they're sending us as far as making the money, retail, anything. If you look presentable, you look like a bag, they're going to give you a bag because they already know everything connected to you is going to return them graciously. Blessings, whatever the case may be. But that is my tip I did have. I did want to share the screen. I think you had sent me the sales.
Sales chart.
I'm going to share that really.
And Tifa is right. Whether we agree with it or not, perception is reality. You have some people, they'll say, okay, you talking about this challenge. How much weight you lost? You still look the same when you first started the company until now. And so you'll have some people literally sitting back, waiting for your transformation before they pull a trigger. And that ain't it.
I wanted to show you guys this really quick because she's going to show you guys the volume and amounts of things you can get. But this was the retail person. I remember I told you guys the 40 volume. They made sure they're binary and look at the volume that they were able to catch, even though they're not building the business. They were able to catch 1,145 volume just because their business was open and they have a person on their left and on their right. So at any time, this person can start putting volume on the left side and every week see a paycheck.
Yep.
That's all these numbers are. If you get these numbers to match, you have a paycheck the following week. So this Thursday, when it's over with, if this said 1,000, next week, they're getting paid for that 1,000, anything that match. Now, this is a retail person. I'm pretty sure they're going to miss it, skip it. But because their business is active and they have their people, the volume just going to keep adding. So if you're ever on like the 1,000 families, they show a lot of people that have so much volume in the background.
200,000, 150,000.
And it's
because insane.
Someone's a retailer and they're not focused on the building side when they actually can have their retail and residual income checks, but they might not be educated on know that yet.
All right. So somebody actually sent me this chart. I'm always doing research. And I love the way that it was broken down because it's actually broken down by the volume you would need to achieve per week, the amount of products you would need to sell per week, the products you would need to sell per day, and the volume you would need to be per day to hit the rank. So I thought this was really cool. So the common rank that most people, obtain, you want to at least obtain is director, because that opens up your check match for anybody that's binary under your organization. So if you look at the very top on the left-hand side, So you need 1,000 on your left, 1,000 on your right. So right now we're building, okay? We're building momentum, we're building traction. So some people may already have 1,000 volume on their right side. So in order to get a paycheck, you have to match your left side with your right. So to be a director, if we break this down and you want to write this down, if this is the next goal you're shooting for, you need to sell 25 products a week. That comes down to 4 products a day, 143 volume a day. If you do that formula, you will hit director. And I always tell people, when you start a business, when you're doing anything, you should always set a goal. Because it's easier to achieve a goal that you set versus shooting, but you don't know where to aim. So a lot of times Kenny will say, where would you like to be? That's another question that you always hear. And a lot of people say, well, I don't know, or I want to do $500,000. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with $500,000. But I'm going to tell you that you need to set a SMART goal. So you can have a long-term goal and you can have a SMART goal. So let's just say if you got 1,000 BV on your right side, then I would naturally say your SMART goal is to try to hit director. So 4 products a day, 25 products a week, and you'll be a director. The next one you got is Rising Star, 9 products a day, 63 products a week. That's 358 volume a day. You'll be a Rising Star. So the crucial thing I like about this is just imagine if you go to your team and make sure they're locked in on these trainings. Make sure they're listening to the sales or retail or training recruit calls. And again, ask them, is there any vendor events in your area, especially for the people who struggle to kind of get into retail? I think that's going to be one of the best ways for them to touch and feel into doing retail, because the environment is already conditioned for customers that understand that they're coming to shop and look around to buy. And so each interaction you have with a client, it gives you another opportunity to hone your skills and your professionalism, and you get a different experience for a different customer on how to do a sales pitch, because we all have to find our rhythm. No one person's rhythm is ever going to be the same. And that's another thing people do. Sometimes people try to mimic certain people. Like I tell people all the time, Stormy is the number 1 networking marketer in the company. Okay. But we have to keep in mind that you're not Stormy. You're your own person. Latifah is not Stormy. That doesn't mean you're not as good as Stormy, but you have to find what works for Latifah. You have to carve your own lane and what works for Latifah, because Latifah doesn't have the same customer base as Stormy. Because the interaction is different, the personality is different, the relationships are different. I truly believe you attract whatever you attract, that's who you are as a person. So if you have very positive people, you have clients that are very excited and motivated, that's the energy that you give off. If you notice that you attract nothing but low energy clients, you hear competitive no's, there's something about your presentation that's not being able to be captured by the client. And so that's when we have to go back and we have to role play, and then we go through more sales training to identify what it is that's stopping your customer from saying yes and giving a lot of no's. um Anybody got any questions about that? Mr. Jason, you got any questions? You just back there listening, just shaking your head? So I'm gonna ask you a question, Jason, because I know you show up every day, you do your workouts, you do your walks, you pretty much run your business, you do marketing, you pretty much do everything that needs to be done. What do you find that has been successful for you, or what opportunity you think you may have?
With me, man, like, yes, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of sampling. Like something you just said. Maybe I'm attract attracting the wrong people because a lot of samples I give out, people say they gonna get back to me. We exchange numbers and stuff, but they don't. I call them and they keep giving me excuses, you know? So I'm saying maybe I'm weak at that. I don't know.
Okay, so you giving out your samples, you're reaching out to your people, but you feel like they're not reaching back out to you.
Yeah, like they like excuse my friend, they giving me half-ass answers.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So, do you give them the bottle, or do you find yourself you're giving them the pack?
No, the pack.
Okay, so then maybe we need to switch it up a little bit because you got to keep in mind a lot of times when you give someone a pack, what's the first thing they have a tendency to do? They'll take it and they'll put it in their
Yeah,
pocket or their purse,
yeah,
and you'll never see it again, right?
yeah. That's true. I didn't think about that.
So, what we want to do is we want to set it up in a way where the customer can try the product. Because imagine how many samples you're giving out, and you probably giving it to the same person the benefit of the doubt. You know, maybe they'll try it this week and they haven't tried it. So maybe we need to just send you some 8-ounce bottles and then give you some labels. And so then when you go out and, give you something to present it with and just say, hey, I know I told you about my business several times. Um, I definitely would love the opportunity for you to try it. I want you to try it and I want to see your experience, and, most people should reset their body twice a year, every 6 months. And so instead of giving them the pack, you're giving them the bottle. And like I said, we'll probably get you the little carrying thing. I've seen it on the website. The little carrying thing where you can hold the bottles in so it looks presentable. Because some people, they're really funny acting. And I mean, it's the world we live in. So much going on in the world. So we want to try to look as presentable as possible. So I'll make sure I get with Tifa and we get you some 8-ounce bottles and we get you that little carrying tray. And so then we'll try that and we'll see if that makes a difference in your presentation. Also, you want to make sure how many samples do you normally give out?
Well, well, like, like I say about four, like 2 coffees and 2 lemonades.
So you give a customer like 4 samples?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want to give them that much. So like
Okay.
if I was to go to someone and I would say, hey, I want to tell you about my business I'm very excited about. We promoting, health and wellness. And I got 2 great products that I want you to try. So I would give them the 8-ounce bottle. Now, hey, if you can just try this for me, because most people, when you get in the bottle and they try it, the presentation is nice. They'll naturally try it. Hey, can you try this fruit punch? I just wanted to get some feedback to see how it tastes. And you kind of give them some information about the detox tea. And it's like, oh my God, like this is really good. And then you say, hey, I got different flavors. And then as far as the Delgado coffee, because you do have to have it hot, then I would give them 1 sample of the Delgado coffee. Just
Right.
because most people don't have hot water, just laying around. Um, but I would definitely do that instead of doing the packets if you notice the packets aren't working. Has anybody bought from you since you've been doing the packets?
Nah.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna Latifa. So when we get a chance, if you can write it down, we're gonna send Jason some 8-ounce bottles, and I'm gonna order the little 6 thing tray that Stormy has. The one with the watermelon cleanse. I'm gonna order one of those, and we're gonna send it to Jason. So instead of him doing the packets, we're gonna get him to try like just give somebody 1 sample because he's giving out multiple samples, and we all know when you give somebody a pack, it's like Russian roulette. So we're gonna try that, and we're gonna see how that works out for you. Okay.
Hey, thanks.
Lacey, you got any questions? I see you up here.
Um, not Really? I came in at the perfect time though, because y'all was talking about the Candy Cleanse bottles, and I need to definitely get with Latifah on getting some of those, because I think I can order from her directly, if I remember correctly. Um, and definitely get me some of those bottles, because I have brew tea and I have the lemonade samples. So I can make some lemonade candy cleanse, and that would be super super awesome. I was supposed to receive my products on Saturday, but they never came in, and my email said that they would be here on Monday instead.
Okay. I know you get called in a different time, but I was gonna tell you, I would definitely look around your area to see if there's any vendor events. The reason I say vendor
Oh
events,
yeah, that's right. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was completely not even thinking about that. Thank you. That reminds me to let you know that I talked to oh my god, her name's slipping me. Shantae, Miss Shantae. I talked to her and asked her like, hey, how do I go about setting up events and stuff like that? And she says she'd get back with me, but she accidentally forgot. So, if you guys have any advice on that, that would be great, because I'm ready to definitely set up some events and stuff.
okay. So again, with vendor events, when I reach out, I kind of always inquire. When I inquire, I ask like, how many people you normally have. If it's their first event, like their first annual, it's kind of hit or miss. So if it's not an extremely high vendor amount, like if it's $25, that's definitely something I would invest in, because I want to be able to, get in front of the public, let them see my face. You're building a relationship with certain people, and then you're building your customer base. Now, when you get up to like $75, $100, anything above that, then I just kind of ask a little bit more questions. What day is the event? How many people came last year? What's your expected attendance this year? That kind of gives me an idea of how much inventory I need to have. And then, like you, for example, you have people in your downline. Say if you say, hey, does anybody want to come in the vendor event? The vendor event's $100. Then split that. You get 50, you do 50, and she does 50, and then you both work the table. So you'll still have that exposure, because you got to think about it as a team. Anyone under you, whatever volume they do, you benefit from it. So some people are like, no, I want to do it all to myself. There's no I in team.
Right.
So you want to look at it as a team effort.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I was wanting to know some events here in Tulsa that I might be able to set up, because, husband, he's part of the business now. And so he can actually work those with me. He can have a table, I can have a table. And then, any volume he gets, like exactly how you're saying, that benefits me and him both. So I was definitely thinking about that. I've been thinking really, really, really hard about that for like the last couple days now. And it's just been a matter of, eventually like getting all my notes down, because when I call Latifah about something super super important, I really try to make sure I have all my ducks in a row with my questions. I know I'm not good at that, Latifah. Don't blame me. But I try. That's what matters, right?
Awesome. So that's one of the things I always tell people. You want to make sure with vendor events, you just got to make sure your presentation is right. You make sure, I always do pre-made bottles when I go to any event that I have, because the first thing people say, oh, what's the best flavor? What do people like to try? And I normally have like little cups where I can pour it in so they can try the different flavors and they can find one that they like. And then I'll have some people say, no, I don't want the packs. I'll just go ahead and buy the bottle. How much is the bottle? And the bottle's $15. One pack of tea is $1.50. The bottle could be 80 cents. I still made a profit. So I always encourage people to, just have your products. When you set up your table, make sure you have product knowledge. Understand all the products that you're selling. That's one of the things that I think I noticed what I'm finding. I make more money because I don't harp on just the detox tea. I kind of talk about all the product, our entire product line. So the
Yeah.
customer can say, okay, Shanna, I don't need a detox tea, but I definitely need a multivitamin.
Right, yeah. That's why when I went into my that bakery to pick up my
Mhm.
birthday cake, I gave her the samples of the the energy and the detox, but I also really highly talked about the vitamin, and she said she might be interested in that too, but she wants to start with just the energy and the other product for now. But I'm gonna be giving her a sample as soon as my products come in. But I'll have to do it on Tuesday because she's gonna be closed. Her store will be closed. But yeah, I'm gonna give her products of the dang it, Nutriburst so that she can do that too.
Now, two things I actually went kind of chopping it up with Latifa. So we all know Stormy came out with a 3-day ultimate sample kit for $750. So normally when someone buys a detox tea from me, I automatically give them one sample of NutriBurst. And I struck an idea. You can sell the ultimate detox kit 1 week. So that's a 1 week 5 NutriBurst and a 1 week supply of detox tea for $55.
Oh, what? Dude. Oh, somehow I got muted. Anyway, but no, that would definitely buy me so much business right there if I could sell the 1 week for $50 like that. That would be great.
55 or 60. I'm probably leaning towards, I don't know, I'm stuck. So 55 or 60, I'm probably gonna say 55. So you're basically selling 5 NutriBursts for $5 a day, and then you're gonna sell them the 1 week supply of tea for $30. So 30 and 25 is $55. If you do the retail cost, is normally $80 if they was to break it up and sell it individually. So you are getting a savings, but what you're doing is you're building value in the package. So you can say, sounds like you needed to reset your body. Here's the ultimate detox kit for $55. It gives you a 1 week supply of detox tea. And then when you do a detox, it removes the good and the bad. So what the NutriBurst does is gonna help put some of those good, it's gonna help put the good back in so you get all the vitamins and nutrients that you need to replenish your body. So that's why I call it the ultimate detox kit. For people who are like very price conscious. It's like, so you got a $75 kit, and I thought the ultimate detox 1 week detox kit would be awesome. So that's something that y'all can probably do. But it's literally 10 satchels of detox tea and 5 NutriBursts for $55 or $60. You can pick whichever one you want, but I thought that was a real catchy promo that you could do for someone who's not sure.
Yeah, I love that idea. That's amazing.
Who said that?
Sorry, I said yeah, I love that idea. That's amazing. You heard my husband at the same time yell at my kid to lay down.
Oh, Jason, what you think about it?
I like it. I like it.
Okay.
Like
Uh,
my main goal right now is just to try to get people, but I really want to go binary, you know?
mm-hmm.
'Cause I feel like I'm doing the work, but I'm not getting no results, you know?
So then we just got to sit down and we got to look at, we just got to come up with a strategy. Because like I said, you're doing all the right things, but we just need to see maybe some things that we need to change a little bit to get you the results that you're looking for. So me, Tifa, and you will sit down and we'll kind of look over it, like your social media and different things, and see um, the tweaks or the changes that we need to do to start getting your
Okay.
customers to start buying.
Okay.
Okay. Hey Risa, I see you just came on not too long ago.
No, I've been on the whole time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I ain't got my glasses on, girl, but I saw the green box.
It's okay.
What do you think? Did you have any questions or any feedback?
No, not really. It was a lot of information.
You got
Thanks.
you got a notebook?
Yep.
Oh, snap now. I think Shalinda off somewhere. I called her because she was busy. So I try not to. I'm gonna leave it there because y'all said it's a lot of information. So as you all know, my brain has a lot of information. Just to let you know, right now I've been reading this. It's called Endless Referrals. So just like y'all are always kind of reading and training, I'm doing the same thing. Resonate is another one that I'm reading too as well. For anyone who wants to build an audience. So as we continue to have sales training and different things, I'll be able to really like digest and implement some of these things so we can stay true to who we are, and then we can continue to see our sales grow. So like I said, it's always really important to me that I give y'all um all the information you need to be successful. And if you ever have any questions or concerns, you can always hit my line. But I think right now, like I said, we got a lot of people coming up for who are trying to hit promotions. We got a lot of promotions that happened this past week. I'm very excited. And then if anybody else, if they say, hey, I think I want to go for a promotion, definitely let us know. Like the moment you tell me you want to hit a rank or you working towards something, I'm going outside. And I am going to help you reach your goal. Point blank, period. That's what we're here for. This is our family. This is what we do. But when you ask people for help, always keep in mind, you got to show up for yourself. And then everybody else will naturally follow. You don't want to be that person to say, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that. But then somebody go in your back office, Kenny go in your back office, anyone in your upline go in your back office, and you got zero. There's no participation, there's no action. It makes it a little harder for people to want to help you because you got to be able to help yourself. Hey, Shalinda, hey girl, I see you. You got to be able to want to help yourself. You got to show some type of effort is there because the more effort you give, the harder I'm gonna go for you. Because I see you trying. I see Jason trying. I see every single one of y'all trying. I'm on all y'all Facebook, all y'all posts. I try to keep up to make sure I acknowledge that I see you. So I don't ever want you to feel like Miss Shanna ain't got my back, or I ain't got nobody to lean on. I ain't gotta ask no questions, cause I always want to be there. And if I can't get the answer for you, y'all better call Kenny. I'm telling you right now. I don't know why some people scared to call Kenny. He ain't nothing but a phone call away. If somebody told me they made 59 millionaires, they coached 59 people to millionaire status, baby, you best believe I'm finna be on their line, cause I'm trying to be number 60. Cause the math is mathing. Point blank, period. Child, that phone be a best friend. That time Kenny ain't answer his phone, I called his wife. I said, go find your husband. I don't know where he at, but he ain't where he need to be. And I got somebody on this call that I'm trying to get into the business. I need three-way. Because this a partnership. So guess what? I bet she ran out there and found him. I said, Kenny, better keep that phone in your back pocket. Because I couldn't find you. I had to call your wife. And his wife said, hold on. I said, we ain't got time for him to go get his phone. Get him your phone. I sure did. She said, Kenny, come get my phone. So definitely use your resources, man. Um Other than that, shit, we started at 9 o'clock or a little after 9. It's 10:29. I ain't trying to hold nobody. I got my chalkboard up here. I got everybody visions from talking to y'all where y'all want to be. Like I said, I'm always reading and learning, trying to better myself so that I can be a better asset to y'all. Um, Anybody got any motivation? Anybody looking to hit some ranks that I don't know about?
I don't know if you know or not, because I don't remember exactly who all was on the call whenever I was talking to Latifah. But Kenny and I were talking, and he thinks that maybe I can hit director within like 1 to 2 weeks. So that's my goal.
Okay, it's like Shanara said she want to hit director. Lacey talked to Kenny, and Kenny already said you hitting director. Jason want to be binary.
I'm just trying to go binary.
Okay, so
Right
Jason trying
now.
to go binary. What about Risa? Risa, where you trying to be?
I'm just trying to go binary at the moment.
Okay, trying to go binary. Shalinda, I feel like I heard on Facebook you trying to go director, friend. That's the next spot.
Go, girl,
Yeah,
go.
I'm trying to head for director. I'm sorry, I was on the phone, but if you called me earlier, I sure was in the middle of washing my hair, but I have my phone by me, so I couldn't.
Oh no, it's okay. I said I think she's doing something. She stepped away from the phone, but she on the thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to go director.
All right. So we got everybody goes binary, director. As always, like I said, we ain't gonna hold you much longer. The call is recorded. If you have anybody in your downline that was not present, once we upload it, they need to watch this. Again, it is crucial. We trying to do these training calls, so if any questions people got, these training calls kind of help them cultivate in sales training and learn the back office. If you recruit anybody new, please give them the very first training video that we have. It teaches them and walks them through the back office. It walks them through the overview of the business. And then the sales training that I put on there is the very basic fundamentals and foundation of how to do entry level sales. So it should be no reason why you're having to chase down or run down new people in your organization. Sometimes we got to give them the tools and resources to be successful, and then we got to see if they're willing to do the work.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. How do I